Good evening and welcome to Stanley Town Council's Finance and General Services meeting here at the Greenhouse in Catchgate on the 10th of March 2026. Welcome to everybody, and we will move into the agenda. We'll start by agenda item number 1, which is housekeeping. Please ensure your mobile phones are on silent or switched off. We don't have any scheduled fire drills. And should you need a safety exit if the fire drill goes off, please go out those doors there and take your nearest exit. Do we move on to number 2, which is apologies for absence?
Chair, we have apologies for absence from Councillor Brian Curry and Councillor James Kane and Councillor Sean Gibson.
Okay, I'm happy to accept those apologies. I think I understand 2 are personal reasons and 1 is a work commitment.
Yeah.
We move on to number 3, which is declarations of interest. Do any members have any declarations? If we do so, we need to say now. Yeah. Okay. Move on to number 4. So these are the appropriate announcements from the chair. Do you have anything to say? I don't have anything. Just take the point. We move on to number 5, which is public participation. And we have obviously some speakers. Is there any members of the general public? No, just speakers. Lovely. Do you have any questions?
We don't have any questions.
Clear. So we move on to number item 6, which is confirmation of the minutes from the previous meeting on the 10th of February 2026. It's attachment A. Anybody have anything that they need to raise from those minutes? Yes, I was here.
Yes, we will raise that.
Okay, so we'll amend that and ensure that Councillor Christine Ranchford is on and attending. She was. I'm not quiet. Anybody want to raise anything from those minutes? Do we have somebody to say that they've approved the minutes? You're happy to propose that they're a true record?
Oh, second.
Okay, and is everybody else in agreement with that? Okay, thank you very much. So we now move on to item 7, which is accounts for payment and bank reconciliation. We have February's accounts 2026. We have scheduled payments, attachment B. We have scheduled receipts at attachment C, and we have bank reconciliation and bank balances at attachment D. This is the committee is requested to consider the attachments. Does anybody have anything that they wish to highlight or any questions that they wish to ask regarding any of those attachments? No, so we move on to can we approve the payments for the accounts of February 2026?
I think so.
Whereas Timmy has moved those. Do you have a seconder? It's in the second laws. Is everybody else okay with that? Full agreement? Right. Yeah. And then we need to note the bank reconciliation for February 26. Everybody happy just to know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. So now move on to item 8. And obviously we have our speakers this evening from Money Advice Service. We've obviously come round in a full circle.
Yes, and it was really for any questions.
I think this has been brought up before and it's now back. So at the last full council, I understand there was several councillors had some questions that they wanted to ask and some queries. Unfortunately, I think the main person isn't at the meeting this evening. So does anybody else have any questions, or just do you want to say anything? And then
Is it worth me kind of going back in history to kind of give an overview where we started that youth club? I'm not going to spend lots of time, it's just a kind of a bit of context.
for me, no. Personally, no, I don't want to cut you off,
Yeah.
and I don't want to sound, but
Yeah.
you've been here
Yeah.
at least twice this year
Yeah.
and explained what happens and
Yeah.
whatnot. And I know I've had several conversations with you, and I've sent various correspondence for yourself and to Money Advice. And I think we had already decided that the money is currently in the budget, has been agreed at the budget, that for this year it would be continuing as normal, that we would be looking at it going forward, because we do have some questions and queries to ask and raise going forward. And my understanding was that was why it went to full council, for it just to be rubber stamped, because it had been discussed in the background, it had been discussed in finance, and it had also been discussed at full council. So I'm very surprised that it's back here, because I wasn't at the last full council meeting, I must admit. So I don't know really, does anybody else have any questions that they want to ask?
I don't have any question on what I do have is, this was agreed. The budget, it's budgeted for, so that's the end of it. In real terms, if there is a query from a councillor now, then that query joins the list of things that, because we're going to go through next year's budget at some point this year. And if that's what you want to do, then that's up to them to do that at the relevant time. But the finances for that have been agreed, and it's as simple as the recommendation stands, and we cannot bring something back, twice. So it's done, it's put to bed. If there's a question or a query, then that's for the following week.
I'm sorry if we're going wrong.
No, it's fine.
I think we know what happens there, we know what goes on, and you know that I've had some questions, and obviously Maud had some questions that have been going back and forwards and whatnot. But we did actually agree that it is in the budget. So my feeling is that we take it back to full council to be rubber. I mean, I don't even need it. It needs to be rubber stamped, to be fair.
No, sorry, councillor. You cannot bring an item back to council for a second bite of cherry, not within 6 months. So it was agreed, the job was done. That's it.
Okay, well, is that okay? Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Okay. No problem. So it's not that we didn't want to hear everything.
No, I love you that, Stanley.
Okay,
So I feel like you have to stay.
Yeah. You're more than welcome to stay if you would like to. Alternatively, if you want to.
That's all right.
Absolutely. Thank you, and hope you guys are looking forward. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So we move on to item 9, off run.
So we've got Ian here tonight, and obviously somebody else from Park Run. So Anne-Marie and Ian presented at full council about Park Run and setting up Park Run, and part of what he wanted to do was request some financial support as well as support in general from Stanley Town Council. So he has requested an amount, but I don't know whether there's anything you would like to sort of ask for. So the amount that he has requested is £586 plus VAT. So I don't know that we'll make it a sort of answer now, but it was really good to have any questions or anything for Ian while he's here.
Okay. Anybody have any questions, or does Ian want to say something first?
The £586 will get us enough money to get started. The rest of the money has been raised. one part from Councillor Councillor Blatchford, one part from Councillor Walton already, some from Bill County Council, and some from Freemasons in Stanley. The volunteer team is recruited and they're raring to go. They've been out the last 3 Sundays doing litter picks around the area. We've got Durham Council coming down, hopefully to widen the paths around the Iceland area and cut back the ingrowing undergrowth so as to make that a much nicer path. It's already been litter picked so within an inch of its life. And so the paths are looking lovely down there. So, and the team will continue to make the place good as well. So, and we've looked at number of car park spaces. We're really confident. That was one of the queries raised last time at the full council. And there's over, there's around 600 car park spaces. And at 9 o'clock in the morning, that was not an issue. Last Saturday morning, there was plenty of space. There'll never be 500 people coming in cars, but there's more than enough spaces. Check that out as well. So we're really confident that it'll be a wonderful event for Stanley and it'll really showcase Penn Centre. And we're sure that people will use the tea, coffee, and cake facilities in the town afterwards and spend some money in the town. So all you need to do is give that money for we think that it could be life changing for a lot of people because it's not just for the athletes and the people who want to run, it's for the people who want to come and volunteer in chapter. And we see in all of our events, you get a hardcore people who live in an area who just come and support the event and fantastic for the event.
And I see that I've volunteered now at Chester Street for 4 years, and I love it. Going out and just meeting different people. A bit of chance to see different people and
I'm going to lose her from Chester Street because she'll be coming back to Stanley because she lives here, as is the rest of the team. So it's going to be run by volunteers. We're all volunteers, and the people who run it will be Stanley people.
Okay, anybody have any questions?
I've got one question. When do you plan to have the first part run? Because obviously you're talking here about widening paths and everything else. So what's your time scale basically?
Once the money goes into Park Runs Bank, we're talking about 6 weeks from then. So we'll need to get I'll need to then get up-to-date landowner permission from the council and from Sustrans as was. We get the website changed to make sure it's all functional. It takes up to 6 weeks to get started, and that's what I would probably imagine it would take. Because we'd be in a queue with every other new event that's starting up elsewhere in the world, all done by the relatively small team of people down in Leeds.
Okay, so you've just said there that you need to get some permissions.
Yeah.
What happens if you don't get them?
Got them already, but I just need them to be valid.
No, were you just saying that you have to get some permissions there? I was thinking, well, if you haven't got.
No, they are there. Yeah. The lady from Sustrans is asking if when we get started as well. She's desperate for it.
So will it be a monthly event?
Weekly, each Saturday, 9 AM, unless there's another event going on in Oakley Park. Like if the fireworks are on or there's fun fairs and we can't run, we just cancel. If we can't be accommodated, which sensible, we don't run around while there's live fireworks.
No.
We would just cancel that day.
Anybody else?
So going back and widening the path, nothing in Durham County Council works quickly. How long have they told you that the footpath will be widened and everything else will be ready for the first run?
It could go now. It doesn't have to be widened. It just would be better if it was widened. I'm meeting the Clean and Green team on. It should be on Thursday, but the guy hasn't confirmed. But that's the date in several people's diaries. We're just doing a little walk around the Iceland loop where we're at, and being from Oakley Park to there. That's the bit of downtown. So look after. So it should take place on Thursday. We've got rid of the rubbish. It should be easy enough to clear it now. But like you say, we don't know.
And the funding that you have got, obviously, you've said from councillors from County Durham and whatnot. How long will that sustain?
It's a one-off fee, and then we'll never come back and ask for more money. It's free forever, and it's free for all the participants.
Yeah. So it's just basically set-up costs.
It's a set-up cost, yeah. That's all I think.
So what about replacing flags and signs?
What we tend, so down the line, if things need to be replaced like that, the event will set up its own donation page, and you usually find that individual athletes will donate, or individual participants, individual volunteers will say, the defibrillator battery needs replacing, and they'll do a little fundraiser. We even do cake mornings and stuff like that, just to make a bit of cash. So it really is zero running costs.
Anybody's got anything else? Anything else you want to say, or making any decision now, or considering it now? How do you want?
Is there anything that I could tell you that would stop you making the decision? No.
I think it's a good idea. We haven't put £586 in the budget, but we're literally, it's second week in March, we're close, literally 3 weeks away from having each councillor having summer one. It may be a suggestion, as a first suggestion, that we send out an email on your behalf within the town council and say to councillors, if anybody wishes to donate to the park run, there's a form in the office, and you use one form as opposed to however many councillors decide. And that way, we're not looking to find it out of a budget, as in the councillors' names already budgeted for. And it wouldn't take many councillors to kind of get to that thing. And here's a suggestion: you last 10 people who come in put £1 in the bucket, so that encourages them not to be last. And you've got £40 a week.
We encourage
for £10 a week, so £40 a month.
We really do encourage the last people there.
Yeah.
Because we want people who are not normally active to become active.
Yeah. But if I'm paying £1 a week, right way on the road. But it's just that small amount at the back could progress to you.
It's a lot about health and safety, and we have something worried about things like that. But Parkrun is a zero cash event. We don't have buckets, because I would hate to be the person who was carrying the £10 to the bank and get beat up for the £10. So it was never cash. So we'll have to give virtual cash at the and that's no real cash. And that's why the website allows you to donate just to this event.
Well, you see, I wouldn't donate online to anything.
Okay.
But I would donate in cash to someone. And that's me, it's just that's how I would do it. What may I suggest? So
I was just going to reiterate something. Just going to reiterate what you said. It's a really good idea to actually use our stuff. Make money. to do it. Half ones, it's a massive thing. And I've seen on Facebook myself, people are asking when it's starting.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to be inundated.
Doing a little bits for the last 3 weeks, we've only done a small section. We've got 100 bags on a really small section.
Yeah.
But the amount of people that were coming up happy and that's great. We
Yeah.
can join even the kids.
Yes, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
loads of people were really.
And that, I think that's the thing as well, isn't it? Because you'll get those people involved and they'll want to keep everywhere like clean and tidy, and it's a pride in place as well, isn't it, about the environment? So no, I think like the suggestion is
So we'll actually send out an email to have it ready for the date that our finances come to whatever day that those stages.
So that, I think your answer is that yes, Stanley Town Council will support the idea. Will, through the councillors, we will be getting the new pots of money from the 1st of April to get your 586 hours. Taking it that. Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's 6 plus that. Plus that.
How will because that sounds complicated.
So literally there is a form.
Right.
So one person is responsible for the form. But if the town clerk sends out an email to everybody, the email back to the town clerk and say, I want to donate £100, £50, whatever, till we've reached the target.
Okay.
And you will sign that.
Okay.
I mean, there's 20 councillors, so if every councillor wants to donate 30 quid, you've got your 586 plus that.
Okay.
So it's just easy. But it's
Okay.
And that way, it's not coming. I know it seems like an insignificant amount of money, but obviously we've got quite tight budgets.
Yeah.
We would have to look in the budget to find that money, and I know it doesn't seem like a lot of money, but to us it isn't. To a town council, it is quite a lot of money.
Yeah.
So if we can get however many councillors, whether that be the full 20 or whether it be just some of those, because I mean, I personally will be put into it.
Okay.
So,
So can I raise an invoice to the council and then you fill it in from behind us to who it's coming from?
We will have to fill this in,
Right.
And we just then pay.
then we would,
Okay.
So it's been approved at full council.
as soon as it's been approved,
Okay.
because technically we could get this on to next full council
You could.
in readiness to go for the 1st of April.
Okay. Okay. So do you know the dates?
The date of the next full council, 24th of March, is it? Tuesday, the 24th of March.
But if we send out the application now to councillors, they're all going to reply.
Mhm. Right.
That's quite quickly done, and it saves faffing about, fiddling about. We're not having to look for it within the council budget. Councillors can support their area in which they live and jobs done.
Yeah.
What would be good before you go tonight, if you could, is just leave us a quick breakdown of where the other monies have come so that we can fill the form in correctly.
Okay.
So that you've got your total amount that it's cost to set up and where the money's coming from, just so that it shows, and then we can add that additional money to it.
Okay.
If that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm saying to Alice, have we got a blanket? Said yes, and I said, well, if we can fill in the bits before we leave tonight.
Oh, yeah.
That would be good. And then we're ready to go.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
It's very procedural if you've got
Yeah.
Give me the money straight away. We won't have to
That could.
Great.
Okay. no,
Thanks very
great
much.
then.
Well,
So,
yeah, and of course you'll all be invited to the first one and the second one and the third one. Do you know what? There will be cake the first week.
We'll cheer with it.
So that will be a cake on Thursday then.
So we found knickers and sea salt.
So we move on to item 10, which is date, time, and venue of next meeting, which will be Tuesday, the 14th of April, 2026 at 6:30 in the greenhouse at Greencroft. And we now move on to item 11, which is exclusion of the press and public. To resolve that under Public Bodies Admissions to Meetings Act of 1960, public representatives of the press and broadcast media be excluded from the meeting due to consideration of the following items of business, as publicity would be prejudicial to the public due to the confidential nature of the business to be transacted. Thank you.